random? I love that song.
Steve, I'm gonna lead off the question, if you don't mind.
Is this Nick? Did Nick introduce himself?
I did.
He's rude that way sometimes.
I did. I said David Blaine. Yeah.
You gonna start spitting out frogs?
Yeah, I got frogs ready to go. I'm dead.
Okay, all right. You got a question? I'm ready.
I got a question. We've been buddies for a long time, and I don't know this. So you got the Vigilante game on lock, obviously, right? Casey Jones, Arrow, 100 episodes. That's incredible. I've seen you do like really dark murder with an accent in Justice for Anatomy.
Yeah? Uh-huh.
What's the dream role, man? It doesn't have to be like an already established character, but the layers and depth. Like, what do you want to do next to push your craft?
What's my dream role?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, do you know that answer as an actor? Do you ever really know?
I would really like to play an antagonist.
Like a villain, like a very.
Like,
I would say that if there was one, you know, having lived in the hero shoes for a moment, I would say that I would like to play a very, very famous and memorable villain in the vein of you know, Hans Gruber, or you know, Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
Or a very memorable villain. I was trying to think of like a character that I didn't like that was actually a hero to make a joke, but it didn't come to mind.
I always loved Gary Oldman in Fifth Element.
Yeah, that's my wife's favorite movie.
It's so good.
Yeah, she loves The Fifth Element.
All right, before we go to some questions from the audience, let's just play a little improv game.
Okay.
On how well we know each other.
Okay.
How well we're friends.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna rattle stuff off.
By the way, too well to talk about in public, probably.
Yeah. We'll avoid profanity.
Okay.
But I'm gonna rattle stuff off, and you spit it out. We're gonna say it at the same time, and I'm gonna guess what you're thinking.
Okay.
Okay. Favorite food? Chimichurri.
Pizza.
Nailed it. Favorite movie?
Die Hard.
Sleepless in Seattle. Favorite book? Anything by Daniel Steele.
Killing Yourself to Live by Chuck Klosterman.
Favorite color? Blue, green.
The other day, the teacher asked my daughter what her favorite color was. She goes, "My favorite color is purple and pink and Elsa blue." You only get to pick one. It's purple, pink, and Elsa blue. Okay. Keep going.
Favorite TV show?
Mad Men.
Arrow. All right, guys, before we go to fan questions, can we do a big picture for celebrating 100 episodes of Arrow, please?
And you know what? There's actually, people are holding out cards in the audience for 100 episodes and 100 more, and that's super cool.
You got it, buddy. Let me hear you guys yell real quick. That is fantastic.
Thank you very much for that idea. That's very thoughtful. Very, very thoughtful.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. All right, I'm ready. I'm ready. You there?
Maybe she can have a hug.
Well, if she can have a hug? Well, that's the easiest question that I'm going to get all day. Of course you can have a hug. But she's the only one.
What's your question, sir?
My name is Omar. Steven, it's a two-part question. First part is, on the show, when you are on set, I really want to know who works out more, you or Dave?
David! Have you seen him? I picked him up yesterday in a photo. I haven't even started to get sore yet. You know when you work out really hard and it takes a day and a half to get sore? I don't even understand what muscles I pulled picking him up. But they're very deep-seated muscles that I've probably never activated in my entire life. Man, he's like a granite slab. Next question.
Second part of the question is, I'm now 14 years in remission from breast cancer. And your shirt and everything that you do, I've read about it, whatnot. What part of it means the most to you?
The part that means the most to me is the stories that people share with me. You know, I've had to deal with cancer insofar as my mom is a 2-time cancer survivor, breast cancer survivor as well. She had it 25 years apart. And so I've never had to deal with it, but I don't think that anyone in this room, anyone within the sound of my voice, has been that far removed from someone or themselves dealing with cancer. I mean, the number of people today that have come up and talked to me, if you're a survivor, put your hand up right now in the audience. There you go. Very cool. And the best part for me is people sharing their story and finding some catharsis in some way, shape, or form by being able to talk about it. And so that to me is the most rewarding part. Thanks, man.
Over to you.
Hi, I really like seeing Oliver in action as the mayor.
Yeah.
Say he got to the point where he could do just as much good being the mayor as he can the Green Arrow. If he had to pick between the two, which one do you think he would
Mayor.
pick? And why?
Well, no one's shooting at him. No, I think that, you know, one of the things that we acknowledged this year, and it's and I can't remember the exact episode, but Adrian Chase, the new Josh Segura, who plays Adrian, the new district attorney, you know, says that you know, vigilantes are a symptom of a bigger problem. You have vigilantes because you don't have, you know, a criminal justice system that works within the city. So I feel like if Oliver ever cleaned up Star City, he would give it up. He would hang up his boots and leather pants and leather jacket and leather gloves and whatever else he wears. But yeah, I think he would be the mayor.
Thank you.
Like maybe settle down and have a movie night every Wednesday. Over to you.
Hi. Thank you for being here today. And my question for you is on Arrow, we see action scenes, lighthearted scenes, sad scenes. And I want to know, what's your favorite to shoot and why?
I do really like, I mean, the action scenes are always fun. They don't, the way that you shoot them, the mechanics of putting them together are a little bit more piecey, just because they're action scenes. So I think that because we do those a lot, the scenes that I really, really enjoy are the scenes that get to breathe a little bit. They're sort of longer, 2.5, 3-page scenes with real speeches in them. Like I always think about the scene between Oliver and Laurel in the second season when they're in the hallway and he confronts her about a problem and they have a real sort of come to Jesus moment. And we don't get to shoot scenes like that very much. So when we do, as an actor, I'm always really fired up for them. So I would say it's not lighthearted, serious, whatever the case may be. It's more just the actor moments, so to speak, because I am an actor, after all. I do love to hear myself speak. I really do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Whenever the Green Arrow is flipping around and fights and everything, how does the hood stay on?
Use like double-sided tape or...
The only time that it ever comes off is if I break into a sprint. But all those things like flipping around and stuff like that, it just doesn't seem to come off. And if it does, we just do it again. Thank you. Over to you.
Hi, Mr. Amell. So me and my mother
Is my dad here? Yes, I'm sorry, keep going.
So me and my mother are huge fans of your show, and recently when we were watching it, she's been very upset because there's a low supply of shirtless workout scenes.
Could you sign that again for me? Keep going.
To make her happy, would there be any more coming up in new episodes?
Yeah, I mean, I have a shirtless scene tomorrow, I think, actually. Yeah. It's not a workout scene, though. We'll work on that for your mom. Hi, Mom. Do my best.
Hi.
Hey.
My name's Andrew, and I want to ask you how you are because of your face.
Oh, I'm good. Like once and for all. I can't believe that it took 5 years for this to happen, but I was out in a bar in Syracuse having a really good time watching the UFC fights. Some dude taps me on the shoulder. I turn around, he goes, wham! Headbutts me right in the face. I said, what are you doing? He goes, I want to fight the Green Arrow. And then I said a bunch of things that I can't repeat on stage. And I was like, no, I'm a dad. And then they kicked him out of the bar. But no, my face is fine. It feels fine. As it heals, it tends to look a little worse. Because it started out all as one color, and now it's just a bunch of weird stuff. Looks like my daughter spent 30 minutes drawing on my face.
I also wanted to ask you, what was the defining moment for Oliver Queen to you?
What was the defining moment for Oliver? Well, I mean, hopefully we haven't seen it yet, but it's a good question. That's a very good question, actually. No, I think that it's towards the beginning of towards the end of the fourth season, when we've seen Oliver in one mode in season 1, in terms of, like almost using lethal force as a first option, and then we've seen him pivot from that and go 100% the opposite way. And I've said this a couple of times, I don't think that Oliver right now is his happiest that he's ever been, certainly not. But I think that he's the most content that he's been, because he's found that middle ground, that what he does is not an easy job in this awesome, fantastical, fictional world that we live in. But, if you're gonna do it, you have to be prepared to go all the way. So that to me is probably the defining moment at the end of season 4, making that decision with Damien Dark, probably, so far.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Radio.
Morning.
Hey.
So my question is about the first half of season 5. Everyone was talking about going back to basics, and a lot of people were really excited about it, mainly because it would mean a lot more of original Team Arrow. However, at the moment, it almost feels like a different TV show sometimes, with some of the core characters being sidelined sometimes. So I would like your take on it, and to know what dynamic we can expect for the back half of the season.
Well, when you say the first half of season 5, you've seen 7 episodes, so less than a third. Which, you break a season up based on the way that it airs from 1 to 9, and then maybe 10 to 16, and then 17 to 23. It's incredibly important on a TV show that has to produce 23 episodes a year to introduce new characters. And I think that between Rick and Joe and Madison and Josh and whomever I'm forgetting, because I'm definitely forgetting somebody, I think that we've done a good job of creating new dynamics. I read a scene in an upcoming episode between Rick Gonzalez and Paul Blackthorne, which is a pairing that I never thought that I'd see. And coming up pretty soon, probably a spoiler here, but we get to explore one of the new characters' backstories through flashbacks, which I always enjoy because I get days off. But there's always a soundbite that comes out before a season, back to basics, and it's something that, you know, like, I think going into season 4, people were like, lighter tone, and I never totally understood that. I'm very happy with the current season thus far, and I think that you know, especially with Diggle and Felicity, Felicity especially, like, there's some loose ends to tie up with David's character before he can kind of move forward, because he's sort of stuck living in exile at the moment as a felon, so to speak. But in the latter half of the season, there's a really interesting thread for Emily's character, and I think that the fans are really going to enjoy it. So I would just say that through 7 of 23 episodes, I would say keep the faith and keep enjoying. But it is a television show. It is a forward-moving train, and you got to really work to find new characters and find new dynamics. Because in the 12th episode, the favorite stuff that I read was between Rick Gonzalez and Paul Blackthorne, and that stuff's important.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Over to you.
Hi, my question was, how hard is it being a father, a husband, and an actor, like squeezing time with your family and acting?
It's super easy. It's really easy. In the first season, I would always find sometimes the show would become too important, you know, because you don't know where your priorities lie. And and then I met my wife, and she became my favorite person in the world. And then we had a kid, and so my wife became my second favorite person in the world. But the point is that I have no problem saying no to stuff now, because I have a clear set of priorities. It's family first, and then work, and then our fantasy football league. I can't think of a fourth thing. Oh yeah, the winery, stuff like that. No, but it becomes easier because being a father and a husband just makes everything else slot into line. Does that make sense? Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, so we are approaching the 100th episode of Arrows.
Yeah.
So,
It's on a week Wednesday.
yeah. And we're so excited, as you just heard in the previous question, to see how original Teen Arrow is shown in that episode. So my question for you is, just speculating, what would you like to see for Oliver, Felicity, and Diggle in the 100th episode or the 200th episode?
Oh man, the 200th episode. Hopefully it's just us sitting around drinking tea. On a vacation together. Diggle's got like 6 kids.
Full gray beard.
The full gray beard. Once the flashbacks are done, I can do whatever I want with my facial hair, by the way. Just keep that in mind.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Mustache. There's a fantastic scene in the 100th episode between Diggle, Oliver, and Felicity in the Arrow bunker cave thing. And it's an amazing and unexpected and weird scene. I was in Toronto last weekend to then go to Syracuse for an annual trip that my buddies and I do, and my buddy's uncle brought over his son and his buddy, and they were big Arrow fans, and I had the 100th episode sitting on my computer, and I'm like, do you guys want to be super cool? And I showed them up until the Arrow graphic flashes on the screen, and I'm like, I'm gonna blow these kids' minds. This is gonna be amazing. And they see it, and they see the opening scene, which you guys could take 100 guesses as to the opening scene and nobody would get it. And the kid watches it, and I'm prepared for him to be like, thank you so much, thank you so much. He watches it, he looks at me, he goes, called it. I was like, really? He goes, yeah. But the 100th episode is and the 101st episode are 2 that I'm incredibly proud of. Very, very proud of. Thank you.
Go for it.
I do drama in high school, so like like that. So I was just wondering, did you ever do like drama classes in high school or in college? And if so, what was your favorite role that you did?
Yeah, I did it. I did it in high school mostly. I was like a bit player in The Wiz back in junior high. And then when I was in, why is that so funny? And then in high school, I did a bunch of plays. I did Midsummer Night's Dream. I did Macbeth. I did West Side Story. The Fantastics. A bunch of different things. But I had a wonderful teacher in high school named William Schooler, who still teaches there, who I did a play called Inherit the Wind. Anyone? Yeah. It's based on the Scopes Monkey Trial. You should read it, Nick. It's really good. And he actually sought me out. I did the play because I wanted to then get to go to Ottawa because I wanted to meet girls because I was in 10th grade. And he sought me out when he saw it. He was like, "You have excellent focus. You should come out and play such and such a character in Macbeth next fall." And he's probably the reason that I'm an actor. Like maybe I find my way there, but William School is probably the reason that I do what I do.
Alright, it goes without saying, like, the reason most of us is here. You are an amazing person. So,
thanks, man.
One thing, there's a bunch of things I want to ask you, but I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to give it all to you at once. Alright? My mom is also a 2-time cancer survivor. So, I know you support the anti-cancer picnic, so I was wondering how to support that. Also, I was wondering about your workout regimen. You didn't keep that short. But the other thing, if you plan on doing anything in WWE anymore, and then if I can do more push-ups than you, would you give me your autograph? 2-minute time period.
2-minute time period?
Yes.
That's so aggressive.
I mean, it's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Listen, we're gonna pass on the push-ups because it's Sunday morning.
That's okay.
I hope to be in the WWE again. I can't believe that I'm not in Toronto tonight for Survivor Series.
I know, right?
My workout regimen right now basically consists of playing dress up and looking at the outfits that my daughter picks out for her wedding. That's a true story. Dad, look at my outfit for my wedding. Who are you marrying, Maddie? Doesn't matter, it's my wedding. What was the first thing? You know what? You can go to, it's through a company called Represent, so you can go to represent.com/Amell, and then Amell Family, and there's a family-friendly version and a non-family, well, I like it, but if you teach kindergarten, you probably don't want to wear it, shirt. And all the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds go to F Cancer.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.
Last thing.
Sure.
How is it working with the crossover?
It's good. Yeah, it's good. I really, especially this year, I got to work with both Melissa Benoist and Victor Garber, which were 2 actors that I really wanted to work with. Not to take away anything from anyone else, but those were 2 characters that I really wanted to get to play with, and I did. It was fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
That's right. Over to you.
My name's Cindy. There's rumors going around that you might be doing American Ninja Warrior. How true is that? We also know that you can do the salmon ladder already.
Oh yeah, no, the salmon ladder's just fine. I got that on lockdown. You know, they've reached out to me to do American Ninja Warrior, and we'll see. We'll see. It's like it's one of the things that I'm learning now as, you know, someone that has a big responsibility at the head of a television show and has some business interests and is a husband and a father. Priorities not being in that order. I don't want to stretch myself too thin, and I wouldn't ever want to do something if I couldn't really put my sort of heart and soul into it. So if I get an impetus to do it, then I will do it. I'll just call them up and be like, I'm ready.
You have to let us know.
I will.
Thank you.
I always do.
That was weird.
All right, I asked this question, I'm blank, and I asked this question took the entire hero room last time, but I want to ask this to you. What is your favorite superhero?
What's your favorite superhero?
Really like Gambit. I mean Arrow. Sorry.
Oh man, it's probably Superman. It's probably Superman. I mean, just based off of what I grew up with, and like I saw a couple of those Christopher Reeve movies in the theater, and I own all of them, and probably Superman. I thought you were gonna say Bruce Campbell was your favorite superhero.
He's my favorite human being.
He's your favorite human being. I got a video message recorded for Nick last year right around this time when Nick and I were playing in fantasy football, and it's Bruce Campbell going, "Hey Nick," and then saying something horrible, awful. Like, really
Can't show it.
And when Nick got it, he was just like, "Well, this might be the best thing that's ever happened to me."
I just favorited it in my iPad.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's just,
I didn't
it's
even know
on deck.
that.
I watch it before I go to bed.
Thanks, man.
Go for it.
So Steven, as the guy earlier mentioned, a lot of us ladies out here, and I'm sure a lot of guys too, really appreciate those scenes where we get to see a bit more of you. I was wondering more specifically what it took to get your body to that point, how you maintain everything, and maybe you could give us a sneak peek of how.
I bet you've seen enough.
It's never enough.
You know what? You can go on for like $15 a month. You can get HBO Now, right? And you can go and watch the 3rd season of Hung, and that should pretty much do it. And then for maintaining, it's all about like, it was different in the early going. I worked out like a maniac. I did I was like Momoa when he was playing Aquaman and eating out of little brown boxes or whatever he was doing at the time. And now it's just about like staying in shape, feeling good. I like going for runs. I like doing yoga. I like doing pull-ups. And I'm very, very fortunate to have good genes too. My mom and dad were both super athletic, so a lot of that stuff comes easier than it should.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Go for it.
First off, I'd like to thank you for being here, and also thank you for...
And thank you guys too. We're having a fantastic time in Atlanta. It's our first year here. Hope you get to come back. It's really great.
And for also bringing the most realistic and awesome versions of Era that I could have hoped for.
Thanks, man.
But my question is, since Oliver's been through so much, he's lost so many people, he's been through so many things, and he always talks about having regrets, what would you feel like Oliver's biggest regret is?
It probably is not Felicity because he's had literal family members murdered in front of him. Sorry. I think his biggest regret is probably not being able to save his mom. For sure. That's tough. I mean, whew. We actually viewed that episode in Walla Walla. We did a random viewing party, and we set it up. It was really fun. There was like 200 people there, and the episode ends, and everyone stared at me like I had tricked them into something. Like the episode ends, and the end scenes, the end credits flash, and everyone looks at me like. But yeah, I would say that's his biggest regret. For sure. Thank you, man.
Go for it.
Hi, Steven.
Hi, Amelia.
So my question for you today is the flashback scenario. You were supposedly gone for about 5 years. So what happens after you run out of 5 years of flashbacks?
That's a good question. Probably wrap it up. No, I'm kidding. By the way, I was talking to Entertainment Weekly they did a cover story and a big feature, and I was speaking extemporaneously about like how you should live your life, and I was just saying, you should live your best life, you should do your thing, and if you're not doing it to the best of your abilities and everyone putting forth full effort, you know, you should move on to something else, which turns into the headline, Stephen Amell hints at Arrow cancellation. Stop it. I think that going forward in season 6, flashbacks in some way, shape, or form, and that sort of, that story within the story will always be a part of the show. But Oliver's journey in that 5 years that he was away, and the wig, thank God, after this year will be retired. Yeah. But I think that, yeah, clap for the wig, clap for the wig. No, but that's interesting. That's an idea that we're throwing around. I mean, maybe it's a flash forward. Maybe there are episodes with no flashbacks. I couldn't tell you. But after this year, and there will be an after this year, despite those headlines, there will be some type of change. Thank you. Go for it.
What's your favorite episode to film?
My favorite episode to film? Well, this feels like cheating, but it's probably the pilot. Just because you never know how that's going to go. I mean, you really never know. You're putting something together on the fly. And after the pilot, and again, this is probably going to sound weird, it's the second episode. Because we had 17 days to shoot the pilot. And everyone wants the second episode to be just as good, except you have 8 days and 1/3 of the money. And so it changes. I've never been more tired than I was after the second episode, ever. I was exhausted. Nick can remember this from the first season. He would randomly see me on the weekend, and I'd come over to hang with the guys, and I'd get about halfway through a beer.
Like an empty shell of a human being. Just...
Yeah, so I think the first and the second episode, and then the 100th episode was way more gratifying than I thought it would be. I hadn't really considered it until we got to it, but when we did get to it, and all the people that we had come back, and some of the crew members that I knew were there from the jump and from the pilot, and the 100th episode party, that was probably my third favorite. Thanks, man.
Go for it.
Yeah, I have 2 questions.
Any for me?
Okay, the first question. I'm struggling with the crossover. I love Arrow's grounded nature, although you stray away from that occasionally. Sure. But there are aliens on my freaking show. I'm not happy. Give me one good reason why people that feel like me should be excited about this crossover, because it feels as though Arrow's identity is being lost within the greater DC TV.
No, because the 2 things. You know, one, we started it. So, you know, our universe and our benchmark is always the benchmark. Secondarily, in the actual crossover of Arrow, oh yeah, no, there are aliens. Hang on. But you know what? It's a function of a larger story. And the aliens are much, much, much heavier in Flash and in Legends. And again, like, this is just, these are just the champagne problems that we have to deal with as a show that has helped foster 3 other shows. So, you know, if I had to choose, would I want the 100th episode to be part of the 4-night crossover? Actually, yeah, probably, because to me, it's indicative of what we've accomplished. What we've accomplished is not just getting to 100 episodes, it's being a part of a larger universe. So from that perspective, I'm happy that the crossover contains all that stuff. You seem so mad.
Question though, for fans that are actually watching for the 100, and
Yeah.
the aliens in the DC TV universe,
Yeah.
fans of Arrow that have been here for 5 years, give us one thing that we should be really excited about. Ooh, I love more of that.
I was just gonna say, Moira Queen, Robert Queen, Laurel Lance, Malcolm Merlin. A lot of people that we get to see. Razor the Maid. No, she's not in it. She's not.
She's not?
No, she's not. She's not. We get to see some characters that we haven't seen. We get to see some scenes, and we get to see some. I mean, to me, there's a scene in the Queen Mansion in the 100th episode, that's a scene that, if it weren't for the fact that we involve these fantastical elements like aliens in the crossover, this is a scene that I never would have got to play. This was a scene that was as cathartic for me personally as it was for Oliver on the screen.
Let's go to the next one. Sorry, we got a lot of people.
One question, just quick, it's fine, it's good. Okay. What's up?
Final question?
Yep.
I'm a Melissa fan.
Yeah.
What the hell? I just have one question for you, okay?
Okay.
Oliver was about to marry Felicity, knowing that he was living a double life, and knowing full well that this would make her a step-parent. No one's asked her if she even wanted to have kids. He's never apologized. Fix this. What's going on? Please give us one fix this for us. Give us one reason why we should not be walking up to the dog on WB and TPing it until it's give me something. You got the person.
But do I really? I would say that Oliver and Felicity don't lie to each other anymore. I think that's a step in the right direction.
Anymore, but is he going to apologize for trying to make her? Are we going to skip over and act like he wasn't going to marry her? He's going to get the kid out there? Am I going to get an apology?
I think that he's.
I love this.
I think that he's paying for that as it is, because they're not together, and he clearly would like to be together if all things were equal. So I think that he's being punished for that already.
So are we supposed to cheer on these people?
Yeah. All right. Yes. Thank you, Netris. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
What's your favorite hero? Either Casey Jones or Green Arrow?
I mean, if they could be 1 and 1A, it would be Green Arrow and then Casey Jones, because I played Green Arrow first and I played it longer. But I like Casey Jones. Thanks, buddy.
Over to you.
Hi, Stephen.
Hey.
The knock and pour party last night was awesome.
Thank you.
The wine was delicious. Gave me some kick-ass dreams. So my question concerns Felicity, and I think the showrunners, the EPs, yourself, Emily, other cast members have spent like a long time cultivating this Felicity fan base. And now we're all very invested and we're very passionate. And Felicity is obviously not together right now. And I'm just wondering if you think it's fair and genuine to expect us, this really passionate fan base that the show has built, to root for Oliver and Felicity dating other people.
Sure. I mean, yeah. Well, because it's a TV show, and here's the thing. I love fandom, and I love passionate fans, and I think that Arrow has awesome, passionate fans. But here's the bottom line: you don't always get what you want. I mean, look, sitting here feeling unhappy about the state of their relationship, they're still functioning as a team, they're still serving a greater good. She could be dead. I mean, couldn't she? She could be dead. Oliver could be dead. The show could be off the air. There's a bunch of things. Arrow is so many things. And if you let it just become about one thing, then you forget about the bigger picture. Right? Does that make sense? So I would say that Oliver and Felicity's relationship, as it pertains to saving the city, has always been more important than their relationship as it pertains to just, you know, are they, aren't they? Are they canoodling? Are they not? So for me, them functioning as a team right now and being honest with one another is super important. And whatever happens with romance is whatever happens. Thank you.
Thanks. Guys, I'm really sorry, but this is going to be the last question.
Second last question. Second last question.
All right, let's lighten this up a bit. Yesterday,
That's good. I'm good.
John Durham and told us that you discovered that his farts don't stink.
That's right.
And asked him to fart in your mouth and prove it.
That's true.
Do you have any fun backstage stories?
I mean, I think that's it. I think that's it. I mean, look, so many fun backstage stories. I spent so much time with these people. You know, there are certain actors that if they forget a line, it just destroys me. Like, if David Ramsey forgets a line, I don't laugh. If Emily forgets a line, I don't laugh. If Kate Cassidy or Willow forget a line, I don't laugh. Paul Blackthorne forgets a line, I lose my mind. I don't know why, because it really bugs him. And so, we were talking about this last night on the way to dinner. The other night, or when we were filming Legends, we were, working with 6 cameras and so many actors, and there were a bunch of different mechanical things that were going wrong. And because it wasn't my show, and because I wasn't responsible for all the terrible things that were happening, I literally started having a giggle fit. I was like, everything's going wrong, and it's not my responsibility. So yeah, backstage stories fun all the time. David and I just we joke about dairy. That's it. We joke about dairy. So fun. Thanks, man. Last question from this little guy right here. Hey, buddy.
What's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Oh man, it's really tough to pick because they're all such good buddies of mine. But I mean, if I was ever in a jam, I'd probably go with Raphael. Raphael. Oh, your favorite one's Raphael? Yeah, Raphael's good. He's got a bit of a temper, but sometimes that's important. Thanks, man. Thank you to Nick, who I didn't know was gonna moderate.
Yeah, no, good. Guys, thank you so much. Let's give it up for Stephen and Amell.
Thank you, guys.